You're the child of a diseased boil. Oh no! Greetings and welcome to Retro Fantastico with Weird Wizard, playing a much maligned game of the days of yore, Legends of Valour. This is a game which is a treasured part of my own personal gaming history. I absolutely adored this game. I played it to death. I had it on the PC, and it was not well received on the PC, it has to be said. It is the first open world freeform role-playing game, a sandbox as we would call it today. It has all the basic features that you would expect. I mean, you've got character creation here. I can be a man, I can be a woman, I can be a dwarf or an elf or a human. I can even customize my facial features in a very early 90s or mid-90s kind of way. We've got a father's name here. This is our starting village. There's 2 places we can visit, and the pieces of equipment will vary. We're going to get ourselves a little short sword here. We'll buy a shield, and we'll buy this set of armor, because that is always the set of armor that I used to buy when I went for a warrior anyway. You can also go to the general store and you can wear just regular clothes. You know, it's just part of character creation, and it gives you a little bit of backstory. Right, if we leave the village, oh, here we go. Welcome, friend. I mean, it's got lots of dialogue options that you can use when talking to people. Where are the town gates? You can try and pickpocket him, you can insult him, you can go into combat with him. There's all sorts of other questions, like, what is your religion? Like I say, it was not received terribly well. At the time, the graphics were actually dated. I always found them very endearing. I mean, Wolfenstein is probably its most obvious comparison. Wolfenstein was out a little bit before this game. It was obviously, this game used the same raycasting technique, and Doom had thoroughly eclipsed that particular sort of grid-based raycasting technique at this point. And open world role-playing games tend to suffer from not having quite as good graphics as more focused games, and that's just one of the things that you accept when you want more depth to your gameplay and more openness and more freeformity. So that was never a really big issue for me. As I said, I found the graphics kind of endearing. You have to put this in the context of, you know, of what gaming in general was like at the time. Things which to this day I have not had the same feeling and sense of in a game. For example, in this game, I mean, you've got a whole load of needs here. Food, you've got drink. One of these is smell, even. I mean, that's it. Basically, if you don't take a bath, then you get smelly, and people don't like it when you're smelly. You've got sleep. You go to a hostel or a hotel, and you could basically rent a room. Right, well, we've not got much money at the moment. We've got 188, so let's take 4. I suspect that's on the second floor, but we'll rent that. Look, here we go. This is my room. There's no bed. There's no beds in this game. You don't need beds. It's fine. There is a thing that we can store stuff in here. Look, these are our, like, trade supplies. We can trade stuff. It's got a variety of different guilds. You can join the guilds. You do quests for the guilds. You level up through the various stages, and ultimately you become the guild master of the guild, and you get your own little guild master's chambers. I'm pretty sure Tom Howard is on record as saying that this was one of the inspirations behind the Elder Scrolls series, and it's pretty easy to see, actually. It's got, in a kind of nascent form, all of those things that you would recognize from the Elder Scrolls series. You know, it's got the day-night cycles, it's got the open world, it's got the guilds and the side quests. It has a main quest. As far as I know, the main quest never was finished, so you get to a point where you just can't continue. I may be wrong on that. I may just have never been able to figure it out, but that's the way that it seemed. It's got the shops. It's even got vampires and werewolves, and yes, you can become both in this game. And as far as I know, it is the first game to provide that. So really, this game offered an awful lot of firsts, and it does not get sufficient recognition for that. And I think that is a damn shame. Oh, here we go. Look, nighttime. Night has fallen. Yeah, okay, it doesn't smoothly transition, but you have to bear in mind the technology of the time. And now vampires and werewolves will be abroad. Hey. You're a bit of an odd fellow there, aren't you? You're the child of a diseased boil. Oh no! He is a vampire and he's biting me. Quick, kill him. There is a storyline. There's a storyline that revolves around you. You're arriving in the city looking for your brother or something, and he's disappeared, and you can find notes that he's left behind, which sort of point you in the direction that you have to go. And essentially he says go and join the guilds and level up in the guilds, and, you know, acquire money and power, and find out what's going on in the city. There's a whole underworld as well under the city, which is more like your traditional sort of dungeon romping type thing. Where I was, the flea pit. Oh no, this is Waif's Rest. It looks like a much more fancy place, look, with its pillars. It really is an example of early ambition in this field, and I think if it hadn't have been for this game, we might not have seen the development of the open world games in the way that we did. This game, for sure, helped to create that template. See, here we go. Look, you can look at notices. You could find jobs. So this is the equivalent of in Skyrim going up to the barkeep and saying, "Have you got any jobs?" I mean, literally is here 20 years ago. The same thing, in a much simplified form, but it's the same thing. You can acquire extra equipment and skills and armor and all of that good stuff, all the stuff we've come to expect. And this game had a lot of good, and it really immersed me at the time, and I had the little map on the side, and I used to sit there and kind of plan where I was going to go in the city and go and do my different things. I suppose if you put it in context, it did come out, like I say, around the same time as things like Doom were really pushing forward the graphical capability of the PC. And in that respect, this game really didn't. Because it was a new genre as well, I suppose people didn't really know how to take it. So I don't know. I honestly, it baffles me, though, as to why exactly this game received so much flack, because I loved it. I loved it at the time. I still love it today. All of these things really made this game stand out for me at the time as something special and something new. And I think the success of the Elder Scrolls series is testament to the core idea being sound. And perhaps if they'd had a little bit more money, perhaps if they'd had a little bit more time, this game might have been remembered very differently. But as it is, I don't think it ever really got the recognition it deserves, and that is why I have made this video. I will set it right here, right now. I'm telling you, Weird Wizard gives this the Retro Fantastico Award for Best Original Role-Playing Innovation of the 90s, and it deserves to be remembered with as much fondness as we remember all of the great classics of that era. And if you agree with me that Legends of Valour should be remembered as one of the all-time classics, then hit that like button, leave a comment below. Also, let me know if you want me to play any other retro games in future episodes of Retro Fantastico. However, on that note, I have been Weird Wizard. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you later.